how to build six-figure wealth in your 20s / how to save a bunch of money so you go quit your job, travel the world, do whatever the fuck you want, book a plane ticket out to Maui and go walk down to Jaws Beach, the biggest surf spot. Welcome and fam, much love, Trav here.
And LionMan89, aka Lucas Matson, what's up? Much love.
Who you've seen in a couple other videos, 3 lessons from traveling the world for 2 years and pros and cons of living in San Francisco. So, I've obviously sort of a different strategy of how to invest my resources, but I think a lot of our audience would like to know, how do you save a bunch of money so that you have all that freedom? So, how did you do it? What are some 3 tips we can give?
Yeah, it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world, right? Like, so much fun to have money, and the most fun part about it is spending it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's fun to make money, right?
yeah. So the real question is, how do you save it? And I think that the first key, right, is to how do you get money, right?
Right, that's the first key. You got to make money. If you're not making money, how can you save it?
Yeah, how can you save it?
Right.
So getting a steady job.
Get a job.
Get a job, one that, and I think almost all jobs have kind of a route where you can progress your career. But, more important than anything is just having a job. I met a lot of Australian guys when I did my first travel to Europe. And they all preached to me the gospel of the gap year. And I was like, well, how do I gap year, Like, that seems expensive. And they're like, dude, it's not that expensive. Just live in your mom's basement and work at a bar. Like, save money, don't go out. And so, the first thing, getting a job, right?
Second thing, fucking job. Hang on, not done with the job thing. Get a skill, right?
Skill helps, man. Like, the point about getting the job is yes, but the skill, if you can get some technical expertise, electrician, car mechanic, airplane mechanic, whatever.
Tax accountant.
Yeah, tax accountant, software engineer. There's tons of 3-month developer crash courses. But whatever it is, it can be technical, or if you have the right situation where you can save a lot of money, it doesn't necessarily need to be technical.
Yeah, an alternate route, which I've used, is having an online business, and you can operate it as you travel, right? So that way you don't really need to save that much money because you continue to get paid.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good example. I was able to use my technical expertise in tax accounting to open up my own consulting practice.
Yeah.
Which I automate small business tax and accounting functions, and I'm able to do that from anywhere in the world. Been doing it for the last 8 months while traveling.
So you got a job. You spent how many years getting educated for that job?
Basically about 5 years.
Of education.
It was an undergraduate degree in accounting with a master's degree in tax. It was just a year after that.
And then you spent how many years working and saving?
I spent 5 years always focused on work. I, knew that the travel was the goal, but 5 years seemed like I had student loans to pay off. I had certain things I needed to get in place.
Student loans. So you saved for 10 years. Really 10 years. You sent me a message last year after you quit your job of, yo, dude, going corporate really paid off. All the gurus online will tell you you don't need to go to college. You can drop out and just buy my course. I'm not really a huge fan of that. It depends on your education, but we went to obviously not everyone can do that, but we went to a business school and it was really good, actually really good for that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I did the master's degree, is it plugged students right into the working world. I didn't have a professional background. I didn't have any job experience in a professional work environment prior to my first job. And so the program really helped plug me into a world that I really had no experience in.
Yeah.
I was previously a summer camp counselor, just only worked with kids.
Yeah, okay, so make a plan so that you can raise your skills and get a fucking job and be prepared to spend 10 years on that. But, you start at 19 or 18 and then you're 28, 29 and you got a bunch of fucking money. Okay, so that was step one. What's tip number two?
Well, even really quick though, the people that were in my study
because
group,
my arm's tired.
the people that were in my study group, they were 30 years old, and they had undergraduate degrees, but not, and then just in random stuff. But they realized that the master's degree in tax accounting was going to plug them into this corporate world that was going to have a baseline salary of like $40,000-$50,000, and so they just were restarting their careers. So, you know, like if you already have a degree, finding a master's program that plugs you into the working world where you can kind of restart, doesn't really matter how old you are, you know, it's just 1 year of your life to get this technical degree.
Yup. Okay. Building six-figure wealth in your 20s, step two.
Step two. Step two is finding the right living situation that works for you. I lived in a city and it was fairly expensive. I always had multiple roommates. You know, it was one of those situations where it's like, yo, we got a free room here. Let's put another roommate in there. And so with that, I had friends that were paying $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 a month on rent.
Yeah.
I kept when I first moved, and for point of reference, San Francisco.
It's really fucking expensive.
Really fucking expensive. My rent when I first moved up there was $800 a month. People couldn't believe it, but I had 6 roommates.
Yeah.
Right? The situation was chaotic, not the best. I ended up, after 6 months, moving to a new place where I was paying $1,000.
Yeah.
And that was just with 3 roommates.
So basically, step one is make money. Step two is spend less than you make. Because you have a lot of people who, no matter the increase in their lives, in their money, they increase the cost of their lifestyle. So you have to cut down your lifestyle cost, right?
Yep. One of the biggest things I realized is just going out, man. Going out, buying food at restaurants. Like going out and having drinks and buying food, that's an easy $150 on a single night.
Depending where you are, but yeah.
And
if you buy everyone around, yep, 150, quick.
Yeah. And especially, you know, you like going out on dates, right? Find dates that are free. I always would like go to the park, get a coffee, you know, do things during the daytime. The daytime is a lot cheaper than the evenings.
Yeah, okay. So step one, make money. Step two, spend less than you make. Step three.
Step three to accumulate money in your 20s, accumulate wealth.
Yeah.
Is find the right investment vehicles that work for you, right? Whether that's investing in your education to learn a new business, or for me it was, you know, once I had a set amount in my savings account, let's say like $10,000.
We both agree on this.
Right?
You have $10,000, and then anything extra is invested, whether that's education or ads to grow my business for me.
Yeah.
Or for you.
I invested. You know, once I paid off my debt and had my savings account to where I felt, you know, comfortable in case of emergency, I then just started pouring everything into a mutual fund. I had a math teacher in high school that told me mutual funds, way to go.
Which teacher was that?
His name was Papa Schillinger.
Okay.
And Papa Schill, he was like, dude, I wish I'd known this when I was a young man, to just invest in the mutual fund. Average rate of return is 10%. And the thing you got to be cautious of is recession.
And we've had 10 straight years of good growth.
Yeah,
so
we've
this
had
isn't
10
going to work
years.
as well for everyone as it worked for you.
Yeah, I was, you know, I invested during some solid growth years during the Obama presidency. You know, Trump's kind of held the economy down. So we'll see what happens, but
You said you turned 20,000 to 40,000.
yes.
So an extra 20,000. However, you built quite a bit more wealth than that. So what other investment vehicle? People want to hear this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I got lucky in multiple instances. I started investing in some stocks, and you know, I was in San Francisco, so I was in Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, and those stocks were just roaring during that time. You know, it was kind of lucky, but it was also the circles that I was in. You know, talk to people. I also had a friend that strongly encouraged me to start investing in cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, that was the big one, right?
It was big, you know, 2016, right? It was like the market was just getting
Bitcoin.
going.
Yeah.
And I think there's still maybe plays to be made in that space, but to expect a similar
I mean,
style of.
yeah, it's not necessarily Bitcoin, but it's looking for opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's about, talking with people around you, getting involved in certain circles in order to take advantage of the best opportunities. I think that, I got lucky with a couple of plays, and you kind of. I had the privilege of being able to make certain plays where I knew it was a gamble. That's why I had.
You have 3 to 4 different investment
more
vehicles.
Standard. That's why my first money I invested in just a solid
something
portfolio,
safe.
A mutual fund. The risk isn't very high. And then once I had that to a level where I felt comfortable, that's when I started taking more risky plays and seeing what would work for me.
Yup. And now look at where we are. We're in a good spot. So depending on where you are, okay, if you're not making enough money, you should make more money. And then if you don't have money saved, you should reduce your expenses. So you got to be at least saving I would say. You probably be trying to aim to save at least $500 a month once you're past 10,000 in your savings. And
a good benchmark for people is only spend 80% of what you make. So just kind of scales based on what you make. Always have 20% going into savings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but then that's the important thing as well. Like, once you have 10,000 savings in cash, especially if you're a single person in your 20s, why do you need 15? Why do you need 20,000, right? So that once you're past 10,000 or whatever that number is for you, that's when you start to make some moves. And again, I think that depends. I mean, I'm sort of more interested in investments to increase my income at this point, based on what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I was working a ton of hours, so I was more interested in just passive investing in things that would slowly grow my wealth over time. I knew I had, 6-7 years to let this build up, so I wasn't in a rush.
Yeah, so I hope that you find that useful. If you found that useful, let us know in the comments. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. If you want more videos with Luke, leave a comment. You can go follow you where at?
You can find me on Instagram at lionman_89.
Yep. And yeah, you've been around the world, South America, Antarctica, Africa, Europe, Asia, now headed back to Bainbridge Island, Seattle.
Yeah, now heading back to Seattle, Washington.
Oh yeah. Okay, well thanks to those of you for watching. I hope that you got a lot out of it. If you have any questions, let us know. Peace.